Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about One Night Only, a romantic comedy starring Monica Barbaro and Callum Turner. The premise is completely ridiculous. In this version of New York, premarital sex is illegal every night of the year except for one government-approved evening. During those few hours, the city basically turns into a giant hormonal scavenger hunt as people race to find dates, condoms, parties, and whatever else they think will make the night worthwhile. Is that believable? Absolutely not. Premarital sex is already legal, and the idea that the government would take that away is absurd. Thankfully, the movie understands how silly it is. The government mandate, biometric wrist readings, police enforcement, and occasional political commentary all exist primarily to create chaos around the central romance. There are a few moments where the movie pokes at the government control. However, the story never sits down and starts lecturing the audience. Even the police officers seem annoyed that they have to enforce these rules. The filmmakers treat the premise like the flimsy rules of a party game. You accept them because they create funny situations, not because they're realistic. If you can accept that, then you'll have a good time with this movie. Monica Barbaro plays Allie, a woman who wants romance and connection but finds herself navigating a city full of people who are mostly focused on getting down and dirty. Callum Turner plays Owen, a genuinely romantic guy whose carefully planned evening falls apart before it really begins. Their paths keep crossing as both of them bounce from one strange encounter to another. That repeated bumping into each other's structure could have easily become annoying, but it ended up being one of my favorite parts about the movie. It's like two magnets getting tossed around in the same room. Every time they drift apart, something pulls them back together. One Night Only keeps finding new ways to make those collisions funny, awkward, and increasingly romantic. Allie and Owen don't immediately fall into some perfect storybook romance. Their early interactions are messy, awkward, and occasionally humiliating. They compete, irritate each other, separate, reconnect, and gradually begin to enjoy being around each other. Is it cliché? Sure, but that progression makes their chemistry feel earned. Monica Barbaro looks absolutely incredible in this movie. She's gorgeous, charismatic, and effortlessly charming, but she also gives Allie enough vulnerability that she feels like a real person. You understand why she wants to be careful. She's looking for someone who actually values her rather than another attractive idiot who only views the evening as a hookup deadline. Callum Turner was the bigger surprise for me because this was my first time seeing him in a movie, let alone in a leading role. He brings a very likable sincerity to Owen. The guy is romantic, slightly square, awkward in a believable way, and fundamentally decent. I also realized while watching the movie that Callum Turner looks strangely like my coworker Austin whenever he shaves his giant beard. I know that's totally random, but Austin's my guy. He's incredibly reliable, and that just gave me an extra personal reason to root for Owen. Anyway, more importantly, Turner and Barbaro work extremely well together. Their dynamic has that classic will they, won't they energy without feeling fake. I was rooting for both of them individually before I was even fully rooting for them as a couple. That matters because this movie succeeds at both halves of the term rom-com. There's real romance here. The movie gives its leads time to talk, flirt, disappoint each other, and slowly recognize what they actually need. Some of the quieter scenes were my favorites because the characters finally stop racing around New York and simply enjoy each other's company. On the other hand, there is also genuine comedy. A lot of modern romantic comedies seem embarrassed by the comedy portion, but this movie commits to it. The jokes aren't constant, yet several of them landed extremely well with my audience. There are celebrity photo reveals, disastrous dates, increasingly bizarre misunderstandings, and a Tinder-esque hookup app. My theater laughed throughout the movie, and that made the experience even better. You know a joke works when the whole room reacts and then the audience continues to chuckle about it after the scene has passed. At an hour and 42 minutes, this movie moves at a really comfortable pace. It gives Allie and Owen enough time to build chemistry and stumble through all these bizarre encounters without dragging the night out longer than it needs to. The story stays lively, gets in, has its fun, and wraps up before the premise starts wearing thin. The supporting cast adds to that playful tone. Juliafox, Mayahawke, mollyringwald, and several other actors drift in and out of the story, giving the movie the feeling of one long, unpredictable New York night. Some characters appear briefly, cause complete chaos, and disappear like people you meet at a party and spend the next 5 years telling stories about. It's all good fun. Visually, the movie looks great. It's colorful, polished, and full of warm restaurant lighting, neon street signs, clubs, apartments, recording spaces, and late-night storefronts. New York already has a natural cinematic energy, and this movie uses that well. Everything feels tangible. The apartments look lived in, the restaurants feel active, and the nighttime streets have personality. I never felt like the actors were just wandering through a random green screen of Manhattan. The city feels like an active participant, constantly throwing new obstacles and opportunities in front of these characters. Now, the plot is predictable in the way that many rom-coms are. You know which emotional destination the movie is headed towards. That did not bother me because the fun comes from the route, not the destination. Think of it like ordering pizza from a place that you already love. You know roughly what it's going to taste like, but when the ingredients are good and the pizza is hot, that familiarity is comforting rather than disappointing. One Night Only took a completely unbelievable setup and turned it into one of the most charming romantic comedies I've seen in a while. Monicabarbaro and Callum Turner have excellent chemistry, the comedy actually made my theater laugh, and the colorful New York setting gives the whole movie an extra layer of personality. I had a really fun time with this, and I'm happily planning on taking my girlfriend to watch it. I'd also love to own a copy of this. So in other words, I'm recommending you see it in theaters with a good crowd, and if you can't do that, then make sure you catch it when it hits streaming. This is a fun, quick watch you definitely wouldn't regret the next morning. Thank you for listening to my review of One Night Only. If you enjoyed the review, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the review, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast, Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.